We reached out to our affiliates, of which we have over 500 at the start of this election, and started to discuss ways in which we could engage Muslim communities in this election and crucially encourage them to register to vote. We decided it would be great to have a national day of action where mosques and community centres and ordinary Muslims nationwide took part to encourage themselves, to encourage their friends, their families, their congregations to all make sure they're registered to vote. We found that tackling Islamophobia is the #1 priority British Muslims are looking for from their political parties.
I think there is low voter turnout in the Muslim community, and simply because I just don't think a lot of people are engaged in the political process. But it's not just the Muslim community. This is a phenomenon we see across, all ethnic minority communities, that they are less engaged in the political process than their white counterparts. However, seeing that more and more Muslims are engaging in that public life, we're here in London, where we have a Muslim mayor of London. We're seeing Muslims represented in all parts of our political process. And I think as such, we're seeing more and more Muslims getting engaged in that political process because they're seeing their image and people that look like them, come from communities like them, in positions of power.
Muslim communities in this country form approximately 5% of the total population. They can make a difference in 31 constituencies, especially with the marginal seats, in the urban areas where Muslim communities live in large numbers. We have also found a large number of Muslims are not on the voter register, which is not a good thing. So in my local mosque, I spoke about it. I had hundreds of people asking for how do we sign in right now? How do we join? It was, of course, a very simple thing. Remember, voting is not just a civic duty. For a Muslim, it's a trust that you have. You need to have the right person representing you in the parliament. So therefore, we invited Muslims, encouraged them to join and do what is their duty, both civic as well as their spiritual duty.
Now more than ever, Muslims need to take action, not just on issues affecting the Muslim community, but also on issues otherwise. It could be domestic foreign policy issues, it could be like Brexit, the NHS, the future of the economy, the national living wage. These are all issues which affect Muslims regardless of how involved or practicing they are within a community.
However, the reality of understanding of these phrases and words.
I think as a young British Muslim woman, now more than ever, we are being unfairly targeted, and it is really important to have a party that is in government that recognises that and actually contributes to investigations being taken place and helping the faces of young British Muslim women. The other key issue that's very important for me in this election is the case of representation. Don't exclude us from the narrative when you feel like it. We're as much part of the British culture, of British life, as every other individual. And unfortunately, it is demeaning to only hear about British Muslim women when we look at the negative sides of things, instead of looking at the powerful and empowering things British Muslim women are doing today.
I do a lot of work with young people, so for me, youth services is the most important issue to me. Who is funding youth services? I think we are in crisis at the moment. We have so much, so many mental health issues, violence on the streets, students who have no direction, who have nowhere to go, and they need spaces to be able to be young people, to be able to aspire to things. And for me, I want to look at who is looking to fund youth services and how broad is that funding going to be.
الخوف